The fantastic thing about university cheer is everybody has to start somewhere. And so you're going to have people that are just like you, or that were just like you a few weeks ago or a month ago.
Let's do it! Here we go! Opener!
I don't think I really knew what to expect, to be honest.
So university is a very unique division. All the athletes are adults, obviously. So I try my best as we deal with adults to have a good warm-up, make sure the athletes are ready to train.
Often we get here early because we all like to catch up, maybe do some extra stunts.
And then we have a structured warm-up, and no matter what the level that you compete at, everyone has the same warm-up. So we go through basics all the time. Basics are really important for safety. Basics are really important for timing. Once we have good basics, we can go from there.
2 straight up extension falls, 3 extension lid falls. This is 10, and 5, 6, 7, 8.
Typically we structure training around what needs work the most based on the trainings that we've had previously.
So at the beginning of the year, it's mostly skill building, and then you're into choreography and you're building the routine, but you always have to be conscious of where you want to be and when, and sometimes you have to push your athletes a little bit past where they want to be.
And then following that, we'll start doing full outs, which is when we perform the whole routine from start to finish to the best of our ability. I like to just try and hype everybody up. They're really hard work, but they're really fun because you're in it together.
And when you see people start to hit skills that they didn't hit in the last run, or they start to, I don't know, try something new, you see like the excitement in the team and you can feel it, and it's really contagious. It really sticks with me.
It gives me like such a rush to like be so high up, because I'm pretty scared of heights actually. So it's like, it's scary, but it's not scary at the same time, because I know that people underneath me are going to catch me and that I trust them.
What's special about uni cheer is we have this component of chant, and a lot of people like to shy away from chant because it's a bit embarrassing, or it's like where we used to come from with the pom-poms. But it actually brings us together and makes us represent our school, and I think that's really important.
I think stunting probably took up more of it than I was expecting, but that's kind of lucky because I think stunting is like my favourite part of cheer.
To be able to see you put someone up in like 9 feet, 10 feet in the air, it's just so impressive that I just can't get enough of it, and I just want to keep going. Like, I never want to leave the gym.
I actually treat all my teams very, very similar, regardless of level. I treat them all as adults with the same expectation of skills. They just have a different skill level to hit. Doesn't mean they have a different requirements, but they all are expected to show up, hit their training, commit just the same. So I actually treat my level 2s very similar than I treat my high level teams.
The main focus of training is obviously getting the routine to work. But the secondary focus of training is getting the people to work together. You can have the most talented people in the world, but if they aren't working together, then cheer's not going to work, because it's a team sport that relies on people actually coming together to achieve their stunts.
Yes!
I think it's given me a lot more resilience in terms of how hard I'm willing to work.
I think the opportunities to keep improving, like we're always challenged all the time to keep getting better, keep growing our skills, upgrading our stunts, doing more difficult tumbling. So I think that sort of pushes me to keep coming back and keep trying to learn more, and then, you know, eventually be able to move up to higher levels. And yeah, I kind of get better and better at cheer as well.
We have technique training, and we also have training based on the choreography, on the style of the team.
We have an hour and a half of technique a week, and that's normally either ballet, jazz or pom based.
So when we have technique training, we basically do a warm-up, then we do some corner work with the skills and progression, and then we start working on the skills that they have within the routine.
We will run our turns, our jumps, our kicks, all of that fun stuff.
I found that this year having technique classes, I've really improved on like the technical side of my dancing, and every week, as even not just as an individual, but like our whole team starts getting better, and every week I'm like, yes, got to come back, got to keep working, like want to come in early to work on things because I just enjoy it so much.
Like, it was a very rewarding being able to do so much technique so that I could do better turns, better technique. That I've never really had good technique in the first place, but it was nice to be taught tiny little things.
And we also have ballet, because ballet is the foundation of all the skills. So that's our technique training.
Choreo training is where we learn all the choreo. We kind of take in the technique. We don't have too much time to go over that technique, but we incorporate that, learn the new choreo and make sure that everyone knows what they're doing for comp.
Generally we start with a warm-up, we do our cardio, and then we do some ab activation and some other loosening exercises to make sure everyone's warm. And then towards the end of training I like to spend some time doing various different routine runs just to make sure everyone knows what's happening, what's going on, and we can start building up their endurance and their cardio fitness a little bit.
And that's normally like a combination of like full outs, like group full outs, giving feedback to each other.
So a full out is where we pretend that we're performing, faces, motions are strong, everyone does their tricks, and yeah, it's pretty much like a mock performance.
I want to make sure that I'm preparing them as best I can for competition. Being an athlete at one point myself, I always hated walking onto the floor and feeling like I wasn't confident, so that's something I really want my athletes to have, that confidence and that preparedness.
In terms of training the hip hop team, a lot of it is to do with coming up with a routine for a competition, and so that entails learning choreography and then positioning, and then one of the most important parts is obviously cleaning and drilling.
So Hercules will usually do choreo, work the routine, skills, formations, cleaning.
One of the hardest things with hip hop is that it's hard for everyone to look the same because everybody dances so differently, and it's not about technique like it is with pom or jazz or whatever.
That's why cleaning is so important. So cleaning is pretty much perfecting choreography, going over things that certain dancers might be unsure of, and just making sure everyone's on the same page and we're all doing the same thing.
And then we have an hour of PT, which is really hard.
So PT is just everyone's favourite part.
But it's really good for our fitness, for getting through the routines, and it really brings the team together as well, like suffering together.
We do a bunch of different exercises to work on our cardio, our fitness, our strength.
We train multiple times a week. We end up seeing each other a lot more often than you would maybe some random club you joined at uni.
I don't really see it as a big time commitment. I actually really enjoy coming to training, so it's actually like a highlight of the week.
When I look at my week, I block in all the essential stuff. So cheer is one of those things because, you can't really flake out on training.
I know when my trainings are, I know when my classes are. Every week if I designated this time for training, this time for working on my uni, and just maintaining that and keeping myself and holding myself accountable.
Cheerleading is always changing every year or every competition that you're preparing for. It's so different to the last, and the skills you're doing, the level you're in, it's so variable. From a gymnastics background, I did hours and hours of training each week of the same thing over and over again, and I love that this isn't like that. It's not like going to the gym. You never know what you're going to expect. It's always going to be different. You're always going to meet new people.
The level that the coaches expect and want you to be is what keeps me coming back. I'm not getting bored from the choreography or the trainings. It's pushing me and challenging me and making me want to learn more and be better and excel.
I don't think it would be anywhere near as much fun if it wasn't for the people. You work on something with one group of friends and then you move to something else and you do that with a different group of friends, so it's really nice to you get to spend a lot of time with a lot of different people.
Everyone's really supportive of each other, you always want to push yourself to do better.
I'm doing what I love with people that I love around me, so it's just as simple as that, honestly.
We're doing a sport that we love as a team, and I really like that about the club.